Not all villains are inherently evil. Some of the best and most relatable characters are victims of circumstance, moulded by their unfortunate and tragic backstories. Haliax from the Kingkiller Chronicle is a prime example of such a being. To delve into Haliax and what makes him what he is, we have to go back to a simpler time, before the Creation War, in the days of the Urgan Empire, where the power of naming was common among the peoples of Temerant, a time when Haliax went by another name, Lanre. In the name of the wind, the tale of Lanre is shared by Scarpi, an eccentric old man who has a habit of weaving tales to excite orphan children. From Scarpi, Kvothe learns about the Creation War, fought between the Knowers and their more versatile counterparts, the Shapers. Lanre took the side of the Knowers, inspiring hope for the humans who lived in that era. He rose to fame during the Battle of Drossen Tor, where he slew a great beast, which many theorists suspect to be a Draccus, the same lizard-like creature Kvothe would one day defeat. This victory came at a great price, however. According to the legends, more people died at the Black of Drossen Tor than there are those currently living in the world, and Lanre too lost his life during the battle. It is said that only the great love of Lanre's wife, Lyra, was able to drag his spirit back from the clutches of death. By bringing back her beloved, Lyra displayed enormous prowess in naming, doing what no knower or shaper has ever done. She restored Lanre back to life. This one act marked the turning point, and eventually the war was won. Years later, rumours spread that Lyra had fallen ill, that Lyra had been kidnapped or even died. Amidst these rumours there was truth, for Lyra indeed did die, yet the circumstances surrounding her death remain a mystery. What matters is that her death drove Lanre to great despair. He became a man twisted and warped by obsession. He was fixated on saving his soulmate, and who can blame him? For he knew it was possible. He experienced his own revival firsthand. If he could be brought back from death's gate, then why not her? Why not Lyra? So, Lanre travelled far and wide, seeking power. His search eventually brought him to the Fey realm, where he spoke to the omniscient and malevolent being known as the Cthaeh. The creature likely gave Lanre the means to find the power he sought, but hid one terrible truth from him, that no matter how much power Lanre amassed, he would never be able to bring Lyra back. Burdened with this knowledge, the legendary warrior tried to take his own life, but this too had been denied to him, for such was the immense power Lanre now held. After each and every death, his spirit would always be pulled back to his body. Cursed with an immortal life, no sleep or comfort would avail him. All he had was this cruel existence, living in a perpetual state of now. 8 cities stood following the war, of which Lanre in his despair lays waste to 7. The great hero of the Creation War turned betrayer. Lanre would go on to convince 6 others from each of the 6 cities outside of his own to join his crusade against the world. At the climax of his betrayal, he lures his old friend Selitos to a lone mountaintop, binding him by his own name, and forcing him to watch the destruction of his fair Mare Tyrannial. At this point it is revealed the persona of Lanre had long since fallen away, leaving a broken and bitter Haliax. As with the others, Haliax attempts to recruit an 8th follower in Selitos, but is refused. Regaining his naming abilities, Selitos plucks out his eye, cursing Haliax and all who follow him. This moment marks the creation of the Chandrian, along with their signs. Haliax is wreathed in shadow, his face and body obscured by darkness, enveloping him until all that is left are a vague impression of his nose, mouth and eyes, before being blown away like smoke upon the wind. There are many similarities between the story of Lanre and other myths told throughout the Kingkiller Chronicle. The religious telling of Tehlu's struggle against Incanus contains some interesting parallels with the tragedy of Lanre. For one, both Haliax and Incanus are creatures wrapped in shadow, and just as the Chandrian are 7 in number, Seven also refused to cross the line and repent before Tehlu. In his rampage, Incanus destroyed 6 cities, just as Haliax destroyed 6 cities before sacking Mer Terinial, though I suspect there is a deeper truth contained in these religious teachings, and that Incanus is not in fact Lanre, but is actually an artistic representation of the Cthaeh. At the end of the telling, Incanus is trapped in an iron will, where he cannot lie. The Cthaeh is trapped too, confined to a tree where it seemingly knows all. Whatever the case may be, all these tales appear to be part of a single story, merely separated by their different narrators' points of view. We can only speculate as to what Haliax and his Chandrian were up to during the decades leading up to the slaughter of Kvothe's troop. We know that many people believe the Chandrian to be nothing more than a children's fairy tale, and the Chandrian like to keep it that way, going as far as to kill anyone who possesses knowledge of their true names and histories. Their motives are ambiguous, but Haliax certainly acts with a goal in mind.
You are as good as a watcher, Haliax. And you seem to forget our purpose. Or does your purpose simply differ from my own? No, certainly not. That is good. I'd hate to think of our long acquaintance coming to an end.
What Haliax seeks is hinted at in the Adem's poem about the Chandrian.
Last there is the Lord of Seven, hated, hopeless, sleepless, sane, Alaxel bears the shadow's hame.
We know Haliax cannot sleep, either as a result of Lyra bringing him back or the power that resides within him. We see that he is sane by the way he stands up for Kvothe against the cruelties of his lackey Cinder. It shows that for all his crimes, Haliax has retained rational thought, that there is still a shred of humanity he has managed to preserve. Thus he is barred from entering into a world of madness. He cannot escape the actions he has committed. He is hopeless because he is forbidden from dying. Remember, Seletos, who founded the Emir, says that killing Haliax would be pointless since he'd just keep coming back, and that the curse placed upon him will last until the world ends. Lastly, and by far the most significant, Haliax is hated because he is remembered. In chapter 18 of The Name of the Wind, a present-day Kvothe tells Chronicler that classical thinking teaches us of the 4 doors of the mind, which everyone moves through according to their need. These 4 doors are sleep, forgetfulness, madness, and death. 3 of these doors are locked to Haliax, leaving only one left for him to try as his last refuge for peace. No one can hate you if no one remembers you. It is my view that Haliax's wish is to kill anyone who has knowledge or memory of him. This theory also seems to fit with whoever is manipulating Denna into writing a song about Lanre that paints him in a more favourable light. If Haliax's true story is forgotten to time, then perhaps his curse will break. It is his last hope, which, whether by coincidence or design, is also the name of the chapter he first appears in. I'd like to close off this video by giving thanks to all the artists whose captivating works I've used. For bringing imagination to life, these artists deserve all our praise. I've credited the art used in the description below in order they appear in the video, so be sure to follow the links to the respective artists' pages if you'd like to leave them a like or comment on their works. Until next time.